Around the world and across the shards, this is The Cavern Today, an Until Uru production. I am Jimmy, and today we have a special interview produced by Supergram and Steve Crocs, conducted by our own CCN host Cyan, with Cyanist Rand Miller.
Shura, everyone. This is your Cavern Today host Cyan here, with a returning guest, Mr. Rand Miller. Welcome, Rand.
Nice to be here, Cyan.
So how are things down at Cyan Worlds?
Well, right now we're on the upswing. Have had some ups and downs. It's been a heck of a few months here, but as you guys know, we had some good news recently, so we're pretty pleased.
Yeah, I bet you enjoyed that pizza party.
We have the best fans in the world. Yeah, the pizza was incredible, and I don't know what other company has fans that actually provide pizza for them. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, well, we love you to death. So did you like the plaque?
Oh yeah, the plaque has actually been sitting in the kitchen since our pizza party to make sure everybody can see it up close and personal, and we're just trying to decide exactly where to hang it, what place of honor it should get. So that was a really nice gesture. Once again, incredible fans.
Yeah, I like the phrase we chose, the ending can never truly be written. I believe you said that in Riven, didn't you? At the end?
Somebody said that. It must have been Atris, not me.
Yeah, your alter ego, let's call it that. So, Uru Live is coming back, and you guys are partnered with GameTap. Exactly what got GameTap interested in Uru itself?
We've had a relationship with Turner for a number of years, and never actually did anything specifically with them. Just always maybe we're close to working with them on several projects, and so we've maintained a relationship and kept things up. And when Uru Live got canceled, we continued that relationship and continued to pursue avenues of ways we could work together. And as it happened, Turner brought GameTap to life, and shortly thereafter, we started realizing that there might be an avenue to fill the Uru Live missing pieces through GameTap. And long story short, that's exactly what happened.
I know, isn't it wonderful? There's been some talk of when you guys would possibly start the beta, and can you elaborate any on that, of when you may start?
Well, we actually have an internal schedule of when we need to get things done and how soon we should get going on things, and it's actually fairly quickly, but there's different variations of betas and alphas that as we increase the number of people. So some things will start fairly quickly as soon as we can get everything stable enough and working enough with all the changes we've made. We'll get people in, and there'll be some pretty rough edges at the beginning. Shortly thereafter, well, I say shortly, assuming that we get things fixed as we grow, it could be a few months before we actually open up a larger beta test. But all this is aiming for that holiday season, so of course it has to happen very quickly.
Yeah, that gives you 7 months.
Yeah,
Ay, that's not much time.
That's not much time at all. What we have working for us is that a lot of the groundwork was done for Uru Live. We lost some time in that a lot of the optimization stuff that we were just getting ready to implement, we dropped when Uru Live was canceled, but at least we knew what some of those issues were. So, and content-wise, we're trying to scramble to put some other really interesting things in that you guys will enjoy, that everybody would enjoy. So it's been a push. It definitely is a push, especially since we're not we don't have 100 people here. We're a pretty small company, but we've got really talented people who are using all the skills that they've established over the years to crank this thing out.
Yeah, in the pizza video, I was very surprised to see Tim Larkin at Cyan headquarters.
Yeah, he's still here and still is part of our team. He's obviously doing a lot of other stuff. He's a talented guy and has potential to work in a lot of areas. And as our schedule, as the amount of work we have increases or decreases, he adjusts other things he does for other people to kind of accommodate that.
Are you guys going to use him for future Uru music? He composed Mist 5, I believe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Tim's stuff is incredible. I love working with him. He's got just a real knack for sitting down with the ages that we make and looking at them and getting a feel of them and not just doing the same old stuff. We laugh often at how we're not trying to do soundscapes here that are like Hollywood movies necessarily. We're trying to do something that's a little bit unique. It's got a little bit of an edge. It has a feel or something that is slightly different, and that's to us is the challenging, fun part. And I enjoy working with Tim because he likes doing that kind of thing.
Well, I have to say he definitely does a very good job. I quite enjoy his piece of music. That theme you hear when you're descending in the great shaft kind of has a flute.
Oh.
That.
Yeah.
That's just beautiful.
When you're going down the elevator in the great shaft there, yeah, that's a good one. There's the one, of course, that people love in Uru is the gallery music that's just so unique.
Oh, I know.
So haunting, and that one has actually been picked up for use in trailers for some pretty big Hollywood films.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it was talked about. I actually saw that trailer. A movie I'd never go see, but still.
Yeah, it's been interesting, and that's the kind of stuff that, well, I mean, not just the music, but I mean that's the stuff that we all enjoy doing in our work here, is trying to look at things in a little bit different way, a unique perspective. So.
And as I recall, the Mist 3 theme that was composed by Jack Wall, who I also think is another great composer, was used in a trailer for that non-cartoony Peter Pan movie that came out some years back. My mom comes out and says to me, Chad, I started to hear that music and I thought, oh, they're making a Mist movie, and then it turned out to be that Peter Pan movie. I'm like, oh man!
Surprised you. Yeah, I think that I mean, it's really humbling to be associated with people who are so talented. I mean, I just kind of sit here and get to talk a lot when it's appropriate, but the people here are world class. When I look at what a lot of our artists have done, both in the company and out of the company, I mean, it's just amazing. We have programmers and artists that are, it's just a privilege to work with.
Well, they definitely put a lot of time into Uru, and the end result is beautiful. A while back, the Liaisons, I think this was their first meeting, but they showed off a new garden age that looked like a combination between chemo and the grass you get on Relto at the end of Path of the Shell. What can you tell us about that age? Is it...
Well, I mean, it appears to be an other similar garden age to chemo, to Eater chemo, and the idea is that we think that the Dunny had lots of those. If you live in a cave, you need a brief reprieve, a safe outdoor place that you could link to and chat and experience the weather and climate changes so. Obviously, we've stumbled on a lot of those kind of books in the cavern, and they're all very small, and but that's what you would expect with that kind of a garden.
Yeah. Now my question is this another Kadish age, or is it someone else's?
These are, I think are these are much, very much associated with the eater chemo. I mean, I think the look and feel. It's almost as if the same writer may have done different variations on the same book to provide reprieves for the from the Dunny Cavern.
Yeah, well, after reading the Book of Atris, that's believable. Oh, by the way, I thought that was a great book. It really was.
Cool.
Your
Thanks.
your brother did which one of them was it? Was it Robin? Or did he just, I know he did something for that book. I don't remember.
Well, yeah, Ryan actually wrote the first version of that. It was an early version of the Book of Atris, and then we all kind of collaborated with David Wingrove to finish that one up.
It was kind of funny. I actually read that book after I had started playing in the prologue. And I'm sitting there, and I turn the page, and there's the cleft, and I'm like, it's the cleft! And then I hear all these other people say, it was so cool to actually step into the cleft like it was in the book. And I'm like, oh, fine, I didn't read it before I played this game.
It works either way, and that was a lot of our um, motivation for the things in Uru were to actually let people go to the places that they'd read about. That's fun for us too. We knew that would be fun for the fans.
Any chance of us seeing Gen's little office in Kavir?
You never know what books we'll stumble upon as we wander around the cavern.
Are we going to pick up where we left off in the new Uru, or are you guys going to reintroduce it and have the story kind of flow in a different way? Or, for instance, are you going to have new explorers travel through the prime ages of Teledin, Chemo, yada yada yada, and then go off and finish to Dini? And I know you guys would probably introduce teapots in a different way because, no offense, but Anane was pure evil doing its fire. It was. I swear I'm never going to do it again.
Yeah, a lot of that content, of course, was in the pipeline for multiplayer stuff, and it was so exciting to have all that stuff done, and then so disappointing to have to let go of it. So it was some relief for us to at least release it and let people see it. That was somewhat relieving. Now that we are bringing back Uru Live, we've got to refill that pipeline. The goal here is not to go back in time or rewrite any of the story. The story has continued, and we're going to pick up just where, in the whole scheme of things, where things have gone. So the story will move forward, just as if life had continued.
I like the sound of that. Yes, I do. Um, how will the DRC storyline continue? I mean, they've been gone for, it'll be 2 years by the time Uru comes back. Will we ever see Dr. Watson again?
It's hard to say. There's been some hints of where that's going and how that's playing out. It's pretty obvious at this point the DRC is not the power they once were. A lot of some of the people have left, some of them have come back, some of them have taken the journey. Their minds have changed, but they still feel called here, like many others do. So there'll be some changes, but we don't know what the future holds for those characters or for Dr. Watson. It's just a matter of seeing if we find out where he's even at, and if he's even alive.
Earlier you said that you had a lot of fixes that you were going to implement in the first Uru, but you never got the chance. Can you elaborate a little on those fixes?
Yeah, we actually have made quite a few changes based on issues that we had that everybody knows. I mean, anybody who's played Uru or until Uru or got into the beta on Uru Live knew there were optimization issues that we were dealing with and fixing and tweaking. And when it shut down, that all stopped. We had to change all of our focus to other things. It it is, with great pleasure that we were able to take that back on again. But it's not without, quite a bit of kind of ramping back up and finding where we're at and seeing where things are. But we at least know what the issues are. And I think, our list of issues is probably very similar to what you guys have, where we want to fix lag, and we want to fix load times, and all those things that bug you guys bug us as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind being able to go into the city and not have just 30 people in there and be going, oi. I mean, you should have been in there when we tried to do the marker missions. And when you guys released that, it was just my mom just cracked up when I said that. I mean, we're in there and you're going, oh, I can move, and then suddenly you're, oh, there's a marker. Got it. Okay, let's turn around. But we didn't care. We loved it. We had the Great Zero. Although I wouldn't mind knowing what the purpose of those doors are that we can't know.
Well, we always have to have closed doors so that later on we have something to open.
True. Yeah, just like those doors that opened and that movie ended. That that little tease you and Ashtar gave to everyone at the end of the
that's it.
party.
Did that not work? Well, I showed him some really cool stuff. I was hoping you guys would get to see that.
You got it all. Do you guys really have all those floors underneath Cyan headquarters?
Of course, we have to store all the Dunny artifacts somewhere.
Remind me to sneak down there when I go to Mysterium. Yeah. Now, here's another question that I'm sure a lot of people are wondering. What will the international users... will the international users be able to use GameTap to get into Uru Live, or will you guys have some other method of letting them get into Uru? Is GameTap going to be the only way to do that, or are you guys going to have two different possibilities?
It's actually a good question. The international crowd, I'm not sure I have specific answer, because we're still discussing the same thing ourselves. But one way or the other, they'll be allowed in. The point is that Uru Live itself, is the point is to make it available to internationally. And whether we can do that through GameTap or do that separately doesn't matter to us and shouldn't matter to the international crowd. Just so they rest assured it will be available.
So is there any other details of story or technical, or you could tell us anything else?
I think the direction of the story and the well, let me start with technical. I mean, and I alluded to this, but we obviously have been tweaking the guts of the thing to clean things up, and I'm not sure that we're going to have everything spick and span and ready to roll when we go live, but we're going to be in better shape than we were, and this time, if we can stick with it for a little while, we'll have time to get things even faster and better as we go along. We won't just launch it and let go. It gives us a chance as we bring people in to see where the problems are and fix those as well, and that's exciting technically. And then story-wise, I think the best way to see where the story's going is with some of the taglines and hints and clues that have already been released. And I know it's little bits and pieces, but that's the way we do it. But look at those things, and you'll get the gist of where things are going.
Well, I can assure you that we're not going to care if we're lagging or if there's some glitch. We're just going to be happy that we're live again.
I feel the same way.
I mean, I've said that I don't care how bad we're lagging or anything like that. I am just going to be patient and wait it out, because you guys will fix it at some point, sometime, somewhere. But then, you got to be patient, waiting for new content. And then when you get new content, you are supposed to enjoy it, not rush through it. Yeah, that's the only... What?
Well, I was just going to say, new content's a huge thing, because our initial plans with Uru Live were to keep everybody engrossed with that whole idea of new content. I mean, it's our assumption that that's what people like. They like to to go into something wondering what they'll find. It's that sense of exploration. Whether you're in a cavern or whether you're watching TV, it's always nice to stumble upon something that's unexpected. And so, we're putting a lot of effort into that. We don't have luxurious resources to do that, so we're acting smart. We're building places that we think people will like and that may have some repeatability, but are also interesting. We're trying to really work in a very smart way, and of course, the more people we get, the more we can ramp that up and provide more and more.
Yeah, I hope we get a quadrillion people. Beat the record last time. Throughout time I've spent in Until Uru, along with others, I have seen things in ages that I never noticed the first time. And one particular experience comes to mind. I was on the Huru shards, those shards that give you teapot content, and I never knew that in Urkana there was a Starfisher picture that if you clicked on it you would link to that Barrow cave. And I'm sitting there, and my friend's telling me this, and I'm like, oh, where does it go? Where does it go? Where does it go? And I was just so excited, and then I ended up in that cave, but still, it was nice to be exhilarated.
Yeah, one of the interesting things for us is, and I think this is cool for any game, but it's for us in particular, it's the depth of the content that's intriguing to us. When everything ties together and there's so many little things to find, and we put a lot of work into the symbolism and the essence of why is this thing here and who made it, and don't just throw a symbol on that gate or that wall. Why would it be there? And so those things all have deeper meaning. And so hopefully that's something that's kept people interested as we've kind of languished without much content or any content in Until Uru. That's kind of kept them going and interested. But moving forward, that's great stuff to add to and grow from.
Yeah, we've had glyph tours. Those glyphs in chemo.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never been on one of those, but I've listened to audio, and it was pretty interesting. I wonder who drew those, because the bar have a very interesting picture of Yisha. On that note, are we going to learn more of the Barrow in the coming story?
Yeah, without going into detail, I think there's a lot more a lot more to learn about the Barrow, and I don't want to go too much beyond that.
Yeah, I want to know why they were confined by that tablet. That's a very good question.
I won't say that all questions will be answered, but
hey, you got to leave some mystery.
That's
It's
right.
not missed.
That's right. Boy, our once again, I mean, I mentioned this earlier, but we do have the best fans in the world. I mean, it was a pleasure for us to release the Until Uru stuff. I mean, it's probably not normal for a company to take the work they've done and just kind of release it out there, but when you've got fans like we do, it makes it worthwhile to see you guys in the cavern and still exploring, even when we couldn't exactly live up to our end of the bargain. So putting that out there and letting you guys kind of keep the energy up was real exciting for us. And now to see that we've managed to pull this around and come back is a really exciting thing for us. And we really thank you guys for sticking with us. Hopefully we'll manage to bring this thing truly back to life and get Uru Live going again.
I want to hear more Yisha speeches. Oh dear.
She's a skilled orator, and I mean that in a way that she mixes the poetic and the intellectual in ways that are very deep. And I think listening to her stuff is it's almost hypnotic sometimes. I really love her speeches. I'm with you. I love listening to those.
Yeah, whose idea was it to make Yisha that way anyway?
Hey, Yisha is who she is. It was her own idea.
Well, thanks, Rand, for letting us interview you a second time. I hope we can do it again. Maybe we'll see you in the cavern sometime in the future.
I hope so. I hope to be there quite a bit in the future. We're working real hard right now, trying to get things done. But it'd be nice to vacation in Dunny. Can't think of any place else I'd rather spend some quality time.
You gonna have your long hair? You know, you have. You know, at one time I wanted hair like yours. I did, but my hair is curly, so it just bushes up into a bush.
That's just a problem.
Okay, bizarre topic. Someone said, I wonder if he'll change his hair to what he has now because, you know, your Abby's supposed to reflect you, because you are.
I know. I got to get one of the guys to, give me some long hair. Because with my avatar, it is me. I just can't go into the closet and change. It's kind of me, so.
Yeah, you get the
I have to
special
pull some
avatar.
strings. That's right.
Well, this is Cyan of the Cavern Today, signing off.